All right, welcome everybody. Thanks. It is getting close. The start of the basketball season is just about upon us. The fans' first games will be Sunday against U-Pike. The men's game at 4 o'clock. The women's game at about 6:30. So hope to see everybody here for that. And we'll have our head coaches, Coach Fulks, and then later on Coach Jackson with the men's team, and a couple of players from each team as well. And I'll just kind of get it rolling, let them give an opening statement, then we'll open it up for questions. We do have the wireless microphone, so before you ask a question, please make sure you have that, and so everybody who's tuning in online will be able to hear the questions as well. So Coach Fulks, welcome. Julie Fulks in her first season, of course, as the head coach at Marshall University. Her resume already includes 400 career wins her last 10 years at Transylvania University over in Lexington. Last 3 years, 91-2, an amazing number there. Named the Marshall head coach in April, so it's been a busy time for you over the summer, and just your thoughts on how things are rolling now as you prepare to get the fans' first game and then the season going shortly.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate everybody being here today. Obviously, we are really excited to get going on Sunday. Our players, we've been able to have a scrimmage, getting our first exhibition game, and being in the arena with fans is always, I think, a really fun experience, especially after what, was accomplished last year. We know that we have a great crowd, we have a great following, and we're looking forward to just getting back on the court and being in front of everybody and having everyone here. So I think we've had a great summer. Obviously, getting to go to Italy was a huge bonus for us. It gave us 10 extra practices, which equated to a lot of extra hours in the gym, which from just purely basketball allows you to get more systems in offensively and defensively. And so we feel like in some ways with a new staff, we're up to speed because we got that extra time. But the other part, which is all the credit to the players, they've had a great work ethic during practice, after practice. So everything we've tried to accomplish, it really goes to them because they come in the gym at night, they're here in the morning. They would normally all be in here right now, getting all their extra workouts in. And so I think all the time that they've been putting in gives us a great head start heading into Sunday.
So with our schedule, we have about 10 minutes with each head coach. Then we'll have the players for about 5 minutes or so each. We'll open it up for questions. Again, just make a motion if you want the microphone, and Grant will get that to you.
I know everyone's new to you, but has anyone been a pleasant surprise for you yet?
Well, I think, honestly, collectively, it's all been really good. I think one of the nice things, if you're going to the positives, with coaching turnover, they've gotten used to transition and how to make that successful for them. And so one of the things I've appreciated from the beginning was they had a willingness to learn and a willingness to try new things and have new systems. Obviously, everybody does things a little bit differently, and there's lots of ways to approach basketball. But I thought, when we came in, you never know how the first few weeks are going to go. And I think the leadership from above, all of the returning upperclassmen who already had gone through a coaching change, they found a way to make that successful. And one of the things that I just think that's really true of them, and true from last year, winning is a culture. Winning's habits, losing are habits. And I thought that they have really understood, through their experiences last year's for the returners, being open to new things and trying new things that fit their strengths can have great results. And so I've appreciated that. I think as a collective group, we've had a really successful first 6 months together. And, and on top of that, they're great people and they're really fun to be around. I tell them all the time, and I think this is true, or I know this is true, we have spent a lot of time together. We're together more than we're with our families. We're together, we spend an immense amount of time in a calendar year together. And so we want to remember that the basketball part's really important, but we should also have a really good time and enjoy it too. Because otherwise we've spent a large part of our lives in livelihood doing something together that if we're not having fun, we need to kind of reevaluate how we have fun and get after it on the court. And of course, everybody thinks winning is fun, so that's a highlight too.
Coach, you inherited a program defending reigning champions, but yet the Sun Belt maybe not thinking you're going to win the championship, pick six. Do you use that as motivation, fuel, or do you think that's a fair evaluation?
No, I think it's always motivating. And I never went back to see exactly where they were picked last year, but I know it wasn't at the top that year either. And I think preseason polls have become even harder in kind of the recent age with transfer portal and NIL I went through the look when I was, being asked to evaluate teams, and you're just trying to figure out on everybody's roster who's still there, who's graduated. You don't even know anymore with graduation and grad transfers and who still has eligibility left. And so, in some ways, I think preseason polls are harder than they've ever been to be accurate because you're just kind of guessing at new rosters, and that's one of the different things. But, I think absolutely we would have preferred to be picked higher. That'll be motivating for everybody, and that just gives us extra energy. But our success is not going to be how we feel about our Sun Belt preseason rankings. Our success is going to be how do we approach practice every day? How do we approach changing and being better at things every day? And if we want that end result, it's going to be because of what we do every day on the court. And that's the part I think they have been great about, and that's the part that gives them a chance and gives all of us a collective chance to have the results we want.
For fans who haven't seen your style of play, what will it look like that's different from what Coach Kim and the ladies did last year?
Yeah, when I always think style of play, the only thing that matters to me is does it fit our players? Obviously I've been a head coach. This is now my 21st year, and we've been blessed to have a lot of success and do it a lot of different ways. And, I kind of laugh because my style is one more point on the board. And whatever that takes, I'm willing to do. I don't really care otherwise. And, our job was to come in and learn our players and figure out what they're great at and then put together a plan that maximizes who they can be on offense and defense. And, obviously we graduated players last year. We had some players who aren't with us now. And so you got to figure out what are the pieces that we can retain. And there are certainly pieces that hold over. Obviously, their intensity to play every possession, their ability to scramble and rotate. And so we're going to make sure those things play into what we're doing now. But at the end of the day, I don't know that we're running everybody in every 90 seconds. But there's pieces that we want to retain because they became really good at that last year. And I think I would be doing everybody a disservice if us as a staff weren't trying to find ways to utilize, those skills in terms of also changing the things that help maximize the strengths of the returners.
Coach, when you look at the team you have now assembled, how nice is it to have many pieces that were here a year ago, and how much have they helped you in this transition with your new situation?
Oh, it's been great. I think, I appreciate many things about the returners on top of their basketball skills and abilities. But one of the things that they've been really helpful is just in the transition of the learning. How do things work here? Whether I need to, have them come in and let's talk through, how do you guys like to travel? What worked really well? How do we like to do all these different things? The basketball court is one piece, but we have to do a lot of different parts. And so I think their willingness to help our staff through every part of the transition has been great. They want to be great leaders. They want to continue to learn how they can kind of grow as people, not just on the court. And so I think that part has been awesome. But the piece that I mentioned earlier, I really think winning and losing is a habit. And at the end of the day, in some games, you just have to have a gut level refusal to lose and know what that feels like. And for us, that's going to be a piece that we lean on heavily because there's going to be moments that come down to 50-50 balls and all the other things that can, sway end of game things. And part of that is just knowing how to react to those moments, knowing how to react to hostile crowds. Obviously, when we go up to Toledo, that's a hard place to play. And so we're going to need that leadership to help us get through those games when there's going to be tough moments and everybody's going to make runs. And all of that will carry over to help us be successful.
And looking at your roster this year, you have a lot of returning players from Marshall, but also a lot of players in the transfer portal as well. How have you seen everyone kind of build team chemistry, learn to play with one another, and also buying into your system as well thus far?
Yeah, team chemistry is a huge part of this. We've got to want to play for each other more than we want to play for ourselves and our personal goals. And that was one of the places that Italy went a long way. I mean, we were very intentional about everything we did in Italy in terms of kind of groups and tables and meals, and we just wanted to make sure we maximized that time together and that we maximize them getting to know different, members of the team. And so a lot of things that we have done has been about building team chemistry and team culture. You've got to know who the people are. You've got to know what drives them. You got to know why they want to have the success that we have. And so, I think that is one of the pieces we have been really intentional as a staff about. And it matters in terms of, if you're new coming in, you've got to feel comfortable right away in terms of what you're able to do on the court and the people that you're playing with. And so we need both sides. we need the returners to be really great. We need all the new players to come in and get acclimated quickly and have roles and do their parts really well. And I think they've been awesome as a group in making sure that we're building that chemistry and that trust so that we can perform on the court.
Have time for one more question for Coach Fulks. Coach, you have been practicing your team, kind of probably getting tired of playing against one another. You get UPike Sunday, and what are the things that you want to see fall into place now before that opener Monday, November 4th at Toledo?
Yeah, I think we had a scrimmage last weekend, and that gave us our next kind of set of data on what we're working on to respond. And I think, the best teams, the best professionals, everybody who's successful in life, you're able to do something, get results, and then, address those results honestly. And so I thought in the scrimmage, we got really clear results on what parts were going well and then what parts we needed to work on. And so we've spent this week on Monday, we had a lot of film, but we had very clear goals on the things that we were going to get better at this week. And then Sunday is just going to be kind of our data check. Okay, what worked? What did we get better at? And then we're going to do the same thing heading into Toledo. But that'll be our sequence for all year. Every game just gives us live feedback of where we are in terms of the goals we're trying to meet and what are we doing that works and what are we needing to address so that when we get in the postseason, we've kind of got it all figured out.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here and look forward to seeing everybody on Sunday.
All right, our first member of the Thundering Herd is Meredith Maier, junior from Fairmont, who last time you were on the court back in March had some very exciting times. That Sun Belt Championship game win over James Madison, scored 20 points to lead the team there. It forced, 39 turnovers. You had several of those steals as well. Just what's it been like to then go through whatever you've had this summer and as you prepare for another season?
It's been a journey, that's for sure. There's been a lot of learning done, a lot of adapting. That's one thing our team is not new to, learning to adapt. There's a lot of returners that this will be our third head coach, or it is our third head coach. And so putting in that adaptation to learning who Coach Fulks is and who we are as a team, that's been very important for us. But it's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of self-reflection. We've been trying to build on the standard that we built last year, and we're hoping to do it again. So.
Questions for Meredith?
Meredith, just with this transition, what's maybe been the most challenging thing you've had to go through going from one coach to another?
Most challenging, I'd say, I don't even know if I'd consider it challenging. Just learning a new style of basketball. My freshman year was a completely different style. Last year was a complete 180, and this year, complete 180 again. But honestly, it's been a lot of fun just because I think we have that advantage on other teams. Knowing 3 different styles of basketball is very key to winning games. And like I said before, knowing how to adapt in situations when it's tight game situations or whether maybe anything else. I think it's been very fun to learn. I'd say it's been challenging just because it's very new, but I don't even know if I'd put it into terms of challenging, if that makes any sense.
Hey, Meredith, as one of the older returnees here, you see yourself as a leader, and if you do, what's that involve?
It's crazy that I'm one of the old ones. I don't feel it. My body feels it, but I don't feel it mentally. I'd say I've been trying to take on that leadership role. I think I learned a lot my first 2 years of being here at Marshall, and so I feel like I have a lot to give. And my biggest thing is just being the best teammate I can be on and off the court. That's what I strive to be every day, whether it's in practice or it's in games or outside of basketball. But I mean, I think I've been really trying to. I think it comes with self-growth too. I think I've grown a lot as a person outside of basketball as well. And so whether that be I'm a leader, I don't know. In terms of me being a person, I just want to be the best teammate I can be. That's my number one goal. So.
Meredith, obviously, we've followed you for a long time playing high school basketball in the state. How special has it been for you to just kind of continue your career right here in your home state and represent West Virginia?
Oh, it's been very special. I'm glad we got a ring finally. 2 years of high school, I didn't get one of those, but can finally say I got one. So that's been really awesome. But I mean, representing the state, I feel like a lot of people can't say that, like they get the chance to do that. And for me, it just having that pride and having West Virginia on my chest every single day I step on the court, knowing that I'm representing something bigger than myself, it's an honor, honestly, because I mean, West Virginia has a lot of good athletes, and to say that we play in this sport is just, we're lucky to be here. So.
Meredith, as you mentioned, now that you're kind of a leader, you come off last year's NCAA tournament appearance. Do you kind of go to some of the younger girls and say, look, this is what it takes to get there? You kind of impart maybe some wisdom now that you have to get to postseason like you did?
Definitely. A lot of us returners, we know what it takes to win. And so when we see someone down on themselves, we know it's just a step into the right direction. Me personally, I get very down on myself, and I've been working on that. Like I said, I've been growing, so that's the next step. But I'd say when I see, we have one freshman, Cassie, and I think as a freshman it's challenging enough going into practices because we haven't started games yet this Sunday, yay. But we haven't gone into games yet, so just seeing her get down on herself sometimes, I'm like, you give yourself some grace. Being a freshman is really hard, whether you're an athlete or not, and coming into this new environment, I think she's taken it like a champ. Considering she is the only freshman, I'd say, for our sophomores, I think they're doing a great job. I think also a lot of us returners, adapting is a big part of who we are just because we've had to go through those things. But our transfers too, they're having to adapt as well, and I think everyone's doing a great job, and everyone's willing to learn, and we're excited to learn, and we want to win. That's the biggest thing. All of us have one thing in common, and we want to win. And we want to win for each other, not just for ourselves.
Other questions? How exciting was it last week at the ring ceremony? What kind of a feeling was that?
It was surreal. It didn't feel real. Looking back on the video board and seeing what we accomplished, it felt like a fever dream. It was like, I can't believe we actually did that. But looking back on it, it was a blast. All the hard work paid off, clearly. The rings were just a nice little touch, I'd say, but they're beautiful, they're big, they scream Marshall, so, it was awesome to see what we were able to accomplish, but I'm super excited to build on that, and hopefully I can add another one to this hand, so.
How different does it feel now, not talking necessarily new coach, new system and everything, just how much confidence does this team, the returning players, how much do you have from what you did last year?
There's a lot. It feels like a revenge tour just because they placed us 6th this year, and I feel like it felt disrespectful in a way. Obviously, we have a new coach, we have a lot of new players, so nothing's going to be the same. But we want it to be better, and I feel like no one believes in ourselves, so we have to. Or no one believes in us, so we have to. And I think we've been doing a really good job with that because we know what we're capable of, and we come into practice every day. We can see the talent that we have. And I think people are going to be very surprised to see what we can do this year.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up we have Aislynn Hayes, who is a senior from Murfreesboro. 19 points in that Sun Belt Championship game, the bucket that put Marshall in the lead for good, and then maybe just as big, 30 seconds left, the bucket that made it a 2-possession game right at the end of the shot clock. Last week, named preseason first team All Sun Belt this year, Marshall's top returning scorer. And what has your off-season, the summer, and now preparation for the season been like?
I feel like I've just been in the gym working hard, adapting to, the new plays and defense and stuff, and just really getting prepared for the season. So.
Questions for Aislynn?
Aislynn, what's the hardest part of the transition? Learning new terminology or just different styles? Learning the personality of your head coach? A little bit of all that together?
Yes, I can say it's a little bit of all that together. I can say I feel like adapting is been big this summer, and learning Coach Fulks plays and stuff, and how she coaches and stuff, and just her new sets and stuff, and really accepting what she wants out of me.
You have been here. What's it like, just playing inside that environment of the Cam Henderson Center and just representing Marshall?
It's amazing. Our fan base is amazing. I feel like it's just a great blessing to be around here, and the support that we have with everyone, and it's just fun. It's just fun.
It wants to be an easy one. Of course, getting Sun Belt honors, it's always great to get an honor pre or after the season's over. Just what was your excitement level like? How'd you feel when you found out you've made all Sun Belt?
I actually wasn't expecting it at all. When I heard the news, I was actually sick at home, so it was shocking for me. But I can say that it's a blessing, and I just got to continue to work hard and, accept any challenges that come my way this year.
You came in obviously from another program to here, and now you have a lot of new players who are doing the same thing. What advice do you have for the newcomers, and how are they fitting in?
I can say, just work hard when no one's watching. I feel like that's when like you really shine on the court because no one really knows like what we go through as athletes on and off the court. We all have challenges, so I just feel like every single day, just give it all that you have and don't let the pressure get to you. Just just live for it.
So with the new coach and going to the new season, has there been like any players on the team that you personally think have stood out the most as far in the off season?
I can say like we have a lot of new players, and I feel like all of them you'll see on the court on Sunday that everyone is just we all work hard and we play together as a team. We have Cassie. I feel like she's a great freshman. I feel like she's going to come in and do great wonders for us. And Maddie, our point guard as well, I feel like she's a great new point guard for us. So I feel like every new player that have came is going to be a big role of this team this year.
What have you been personally working on? What are the things that you think you want to improve upon in your game?
I can say just finishing better around the rim, and then just getting myself open for shots, and just being a better leader and being more vocal for my team since I'm, the oldest one on my team now. So just stepping up as a leader.
How much different was this offseason in terms of how much confidence did you get from what happened winning the league last year, winning the tournament, and did it make any difference in this offseason for you as to your previous years?
I can say this one was a lot personal because I feel like a lot of people always doubt us. So, just having that chip on our shoulder, I feel like that's just, the mentality that we need to have and continue to have.
All right. Thank you, Aislynn.
Thank you.
All right. Finally, on the women's side, we have CeCe Mays, a junior from Tampa, someone who has had to fight through adversity, missed a couple of seasons ago with injury, returned last year, really got it rolling as the season went along, and was a huge part of Marshall's championships, both in the regular season and the tournament. And along with Ariana Redmond, is now one of the two longest tenured members of the Thundering Herd. So
Yeah.
what has your offseason been like, and what are you looking forward to most as you get ready for the U-Pike game and then the opening the regular season a week from Monday?
Well, the off season just kind of, in the beginning, a lot of rest. That was the longest we ever played. We played into March. So all of April, I kind of just really relaxed and just focused on getting my body back right and just, taking that rest. But, when we got back at it, I was here, I was running. I didn't even go home in the summertime. I stayed here in my apartment, and I was just kind of just working out every day, just trying to, better my craft, better the things that I wasn't good at, and just focus on, the things that I need to improve on to, have a better season this year.
Questions for CeCe?
You kind of look at the changing coaches as having the opportunity to learn from different people. You guys have kind of had to learn on the fly a little bit.
Always,
How's that been?
It's taught me how to change and adapt. You only survive when you learn how to change and adapt to, your environment. So just having different coaches and just learning from different, great mindsets and learning different philosophies, and it's taught me a lot. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better athlete, and, just overall just increase my knowledge of basketball and just life in general. It's been great.
CeCe, I know sometimes when a person endures an injury, that kind of helps them appreciate when they're having to be on the outside looking in. Is that kind of how you have viewed things since getting back out on the court?
Definitely. Sitting out for an entire year, watching my teammates, on the court fighting, it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do in my life. And it just really made me appreciate the game of basketball more. It made me grateful for just even little things. Like, I couldn't walk for 2 months. It made me grateful for life in general. It taught me to just appreciate the little things while you still have them. And it made me stronger. It made me a better person. It made me a better athlete. And when I came back, obviously we won the championship. That was the greatest feeling. But it just made me approach the game differently. So it definitely changed me for the better.
This transition to a new coach, it's been mentioned, a new style, going to be different than last year. What's been the most fun for you as you try to adapt to this new system and find your place and where you fit?
I think the most fun is just, Coach Fulks, she's just really been so helpful in this process. Like she's so easy to talk to. She's very easy to learn from. She's helped us, adapt and change. And just even going through this with my teammates, we've been through so much together, just not even just last year, the people that were here years ago. So going through this process with them, getting closer as a team, getting closer as a family, and just getting stronger as a cohesive unit. It's been fun. It's been fun.
What did you learn from Abby and some of the other kids who were leaders last season that make you a leader this season?
I think the best thing that I took from Abby is just her willingness to keep going. She's very like she doesn't show any emotion. She's just very consistent, and she comes to work every day, and she puts her game face on, and no matter what happens, no matter what adversity comes, she's gonna overcome it. And she taught us that as a leader last year. Last year she was our leader, and when things got hard, when we faced adversity, we looked to her, and she just kind of helped us and showed us the way. So
what were some of those things that you wanted to work on? You mentioned improving your game.
Right.
What were those things you wanted to work on, and where do you see yourself now in that aspect?
Just improving my three-point shot. That's the biggest thing. I want to be a consistent threat on the perimeter, and getting stronger, getting faster, and just being in the most tip-top condition that I can be to help my team win. My role is to do anything to help my team win, whether that's grab a rebound, whether that's get a defensive stop, whether that's making that extra pass to my teammate, just trying to better my game in any way to help my team win, really.
So you've been practicing with and against your teammates. How ready are you now to play UPike and then get the regular season underway at Toledo?
Oh man, we're excited. We're hungry. We're ready. We're ready to prove a lot of people wrong, and just come out and give it our best. I'm excited.
Thank you, CeCe.
Of course. Thank you guys.